Member Warren.
Good morning.
We got two great guests in studio to talk about an upcoming Landlord Appreciation event with Crossroads Housing. It's coming up on the 26th. That's tomorrow from 5:30 to 7 at 71 Sargason Loop in Shelton. We have two great representatives of Crossroads Housing, Samantha and Dennis here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Samantha is the Housing Navigation Specialist, and Dennis is the Vice President of the Board of Directors here. First things first, for folks who may not be familiar of where Crossroads is, tell us the location of the building there, and then a little bit about what Crossroads does. Dennis, let's start with you.
Sure. It's located, most everybody can associate where Tozer's is.
Yeah.
And it's, as you're coming off of the hill into Shelton, if you look off to the right toward the bay, the buildings are right there.
Yeah, okay.
It's the new buildings. They're green in color, and yeah.
They're sharp looking. I remember when they were getting built, and that's a great thing for the community, that Crossroad housing facility.
Yeah, it's been a great asset for the county.
So it is kind of a place where folks stay there, but then, Samantha, what do you do as the Housing Navigation Specialist?
So I do the beginning portions of our rapid rehousing program. So whenever I get a referral, I have them come in and I try to assess what barriers they have to housing, like evictions, credit, things like that, and see what I can have them do to try to better those issues so that they are so they look better to landlords whenever we're trying to get them into housing, so we can eliminate those barriers for them, as well as finding them housing. So I talk to rental agencies, I talk to landlords on their behalf, and kind of recruit them into agreeing to work with our clientele.
Oh, okay. I see what's happening here. And a landlord appreciation event is what's happening on the 26th from 5:30 to 7. So how does this work then? You'll contact, or you either know of somebody who may have space available or a house available, and then from there, how do we get somebody in that place?
So it depends on if it's through like a private renter or if it's a rental agency. So rental agencies tend to have more rules that you have to go by when you're applying for them. They don't really like to take people with evictions and things like that. So if I have somebody that does have recent evictions, then I have to try and find a private landlord who is willing to rent to them and look past that fact. The rental agencies in town here don't really look past that if they're recent. I think they have to be like over 3 years old before they'll approve you for their houses.
And then do you help with the kind of like, I don't know, like a backing for those folks when it comes to the rent money and that, or how does that all work?
Yeah, so I mean, we work with clients that don't have any income at all. So these people go out there and they try and get landlords to agree to rent to them without any money, which is difficult.
I can imagine.
So I come in as I explain the programs, I explain the case management part so that these landlords feel more at ease about renting to the clients that are in these difficult situations.
And that's including guaranteed payment, right, and reduced
Guaranteed
risk, so they don't have as much to lose maybe as they think they do?
Yeah, and we have the landlord mitigation program, which has come around the last couple of years, where if you're working with a low-income family, then you can get $1,000 to make upgrades to your rental before move-in, and you can get up to 14 days paid rent or $5,000 for damages after they move out.
Crossroads serves anyone homeless or in danger of becoming homeless. Get some numbers of the folks you've helped over the last year or so, Dennis. Lots of folks in the community.
Yeah, we've helped 101 families to get shelter, or in the shelter, people to get in the shelter. And then we've had 225 households that we referred to rapid rehousing program. We've identified 198 literally homeless families in Mason County. Out of that, we've housed 167 of them.
Wow.
Treatment sales tax is where we get a lot of our money for 42 families. and then we've prevented 29 families from losing their homes.
How's that? How do you do that?
So if somebody has an eviction notice, a pay or vacate notice, then they can come to us with a few other documents that we might need, and we can possibly help them with what they're owing for their rent, so they don't have to leave their house that they're already in.
So if you have referred 225 to this rapid rehousing program, it sounds to me like people who get involved with this, they understand the need, one, and the good they're doing, two, and that they're not. I can understand how a homeowner or a rental may be reluctant perhaps to rent to somebody, especially if they don't have an income, you're not sure where you're getting your money. But it seems to me in these situations, I would imagine, of course, there's probably outliers on either sides, but for the most part, it seems to be a positive program. And
definitely.
There's got to be a lot of open availabilities, too, for people around our community that have a... And that, can it be just as simple as a room?
It can be a room for rent. It can be an RV. It can be, shared living, two households trying to move in together. It
Wow.
can be your own place. Anything that is safe and sustainable
Sure.
housing.
Is there like a lottery type system, or what happens? Let's say you have 10 individuals looking for one place or something. How do you go through that? Like a landlord would normally go through an application process and kind of assess the different applicants and potential tenants. How do you guys do that if you have a bunch of people vying for, let's say the property you're looking at right now? How do you determine who gets it?
Well, we have a program that's called coordinated entry. In coordinated entry, you bring the people in, or they can call. They go through a series of questions, and it's based on the vulnerability, on how vulnerable they are. The things that they're looking for is if there's danger to their family or sickness, if they've been victimized, things of that nature. So we look at, do they have kids? That's a big one. So there's many different things that they look at, and then you're given a score based on that, and then based on the immediate needs, we can house people depending on what's available. But our goal is to try to find as much housing out there in Mason County as we can. And right now, we all know housing in Mason County is very, very limited.
Yeah.
So it makes it really difficult. And because of that, we have more people in our program than we have housing. Mm-hmm. So what this program is, the Landlord Appreciation Event, it's kind of a way to bring all the landlords in and prospective landlords. And if they see what good we're doing and they see these numbers, and we show them that Crossroads is the one that is pulling all this together and they're guaranteeing the payments, they're more apt to rent to Crossroads so that we put more families in housing.
And most of the property managers, they all know each other, so they can kind of talk and share their experiences as well. Bring them along tomorrow night for the event. Again, it's 5:30 to 7 at Crossroads Housing on Sargason, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Sargason Loop. Crossroads Housing, crossroads-housing.net is the website. There's also a Facebook page that we'll put the links to both of those in the show notes, but definitely a great opportunity to find out more about a way you can help different families around our community, because the need, it definitely is out there for sure. Very cool. Well, Dennis, good to see you. Samantha, nice to see you.
Thank you.
You guys have a great day, and looks like it's going to be a nice afternoon, a nice evening for your barbecue tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem.
Thank you.